Welcome back to the Morning Express Entertainment with me, Tamima. Now, that was quite an interesting hour I had with Stevens Mwendo and, of course, Smitten. So you can go on Twitter. That's at Morning Express on Twitter, and also by SMS on 8040. Let us know what your views are. And as promised, I have quite an interesting show lined up for you. Today, our theme is past, present, and future. So Myra is not a new name. She's a household name. We all grew up listening to her. Right now, I have her in studio. This is the first time that she's visiting Kenya after relocating to the US. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Myra.
Wahenga walisema mwendo wa kasi huleta dhiki, na mimi ninasema mziki taratibu huleta lazizi. Mabuba, mabuba, uwe wangu niwe wako. Mabuba, mabuba, uwe wangu niwe wako milele. Tabia kama hiyo mimi sipendelei, wala sio ungwana, tena sio starabu. Why you wanna hurt me? Thought you were my friend. Seems like you desert me when I need a hand. Mimi sitaki, sitaki, sitaki. Don't want friends who backbite just cause I'm out of sight. Sitaki, sitaki, sitaki. Don't wanna be hurt in this way. Better take care of what you say.
Wow, Myra right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Mercy, welcome to the Morning Express.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow. You know, this is my first time meeting you.
Well, it's a pleasure.
This is my first time hearing you performing live, and I am astounded.
Well, thank you. I'm honored and I'm humbled. Thank you.
Wow. So, Mercy, how many years has it been in music for you?
Let's see. Since professionally, since 98.
98.
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time.
A long time. It's a lifetime for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And right now you're back in Kenya after how long?
Wow, after 7.5 years. Took a hiatus and decided, you know what, I'd been singing and singing and singing. It was time for me to start my life out. Nijue, if, you know, okay, if there's another piece of life out there, it was time for me to start a family, settle down, experience life, explore life, you know, give life through God, and then take time out and just come back and do what I do best.
So are you back for good right now?
No, this is the beginning of the journey of Myra coming back home. So that's how I can put it.
So you're still based in the US?
Yes, I am.
But you're hoping that at some point you're gonna uproot yourself and come back home?
Prayerfully, that's my goal. Hopefully within like 2 years, I pray.
Mercy. You know, for a lot of guys, they're like, wow, Myra, she hasn't aged a bit. You still look just as fresh.
Wow, thank you. I'm humbled. Thank you.
Now, Mercy, I know I have my first question for you would be looking at the Kenyan music industry since you left and where it is right now. What are some of the key changes that you've seen and you appreciate as an artist?
Oh my God, it blows my mind that the Kenyan industry finally, the government recognizes, the sponsors recognizes the artists and the art and the industry and actually endorse artists. While I was here, it was hard. It was, man, you had to almost beg.
Tell us about that, because I know you started out as part of a band.
Yeah, I started out in a band called Calabash. And there was my aunt, Dana, my brother, Al, my best friend, Joyce.
A singing family.
Yes, basically a family. And sang, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, decided maybe it's time I just spread my wings a little bit more. But at that time, there was no female artist who was really doing it. And I remember sitting down with my mom and I was like, I want to go out of, you know, spread my wings, but I'm scared. There's no female artist there. I don't know who to talk to, you know, stuff like that. And it was hard. People would tell you, a woman's place is in the kitchen. And if you want to perform,
2000, 1998?
This is 99.
99,
98.
Oh.
98. Let's start from 98. I mean, they will tell you straight in your face. They'll be like, okay, if you want to perform, unaweza ingia kwa stage, unaweza perform. But you're not worth us paying you because you're a woman.
Unless you're part of a band. Then
Unless
they pay
you're
the
part
band.
of yes. But as a solo act, you are not worthy of being paid because you are a woman. Really? In this day and age? And I had to, and I remember it was disheartening, and my mom was like, look, umezaliwa Ziwa, you're brought up and raised in Ziwani, you know who you are, you know where you're going, you know what you want, you're a go-getter, go get it. Don't let anyone stop you, don't let anyone discourage you, because as they point fingers at you, three fingers are pointing back at them. You stay in your lane, keep going, keep moving, the sky's the limit and beyond. Do it.
And it was worth it because you're a pioneer. Because of you, we have
you.
the likes of Wahoo, Amani, Size 8, Avril.
I love them. I love to love them.
Maria, you know.
I mean, there's so many. When I came out, really, there was no female artist up until In2 came, Shades of Black. You know, Carola Temi was part of In2, and now she's solo, and oh my God, I'm loving every moment of the Kenyan female music industry. It's grown, it's respected as an art and as, you know, a professional woman, not just out there to flaunt whatever it is, but they take you seriously, and you know, you're a business, you're a product, you're a commodity that people can look up to, and you know.
Of course. Now, you're based in the US. Where exactly?
I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
And you know, the one thing that struck me is that you don't have an accent. And I think everyone appreciates that.
My sister keeps making fun of me because I have to remember. When I would call them while I'm there, they say, oh my God, you have an accent. I'm like, guy, Jesus, please.
Oh, so you can do it?
I can actually do it. But it's because of
my... No,
for example, when I ask for water, my sister says, so I forget sometimes. I say, may I please have a glass of water? She says, oh, water. So because of my daughter, who is Taylor, she turns 7 in October. If I would say a certain sentence, a certain word, or I speak a sentence, like, Mommy, say that again.
Oh, because she's very American.
She's totally
having grown up in American.
Yeah. So even the people there, you speak a sentence and they're like, would you mind repeating that again, ma'am? So you'd have to, okay, then you have to acclimatize to how you go to Rome. You do as the Romans do, but when you come back, you change into switch immediately.
But I appreciate the fact that when you're here on national TV, you're trying to sound as Kenyan as possible.
No, I have to remember where I am because it's not even. I'm not even trying. Thank God for that. I don't have to. Like a lot of people who I've met, and I've been there 7.5 years. They might have been there just 1 month, and all of a sudden they have an accent. Okay.
So being there 7.5 years, if you look at the time you left Kenya and where the music industry was at, of course right now, for you, you're astounded. You're like, wow, the guys I started out with, they're the kings and queens of this industry, so to speak. So do you have any regrets? Maybe thinking that if I stayed, I'd be where Nameless is?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I believe with God, everything has a time. And I remember I had gotten to a point. You go higher and higher and higher, and in the Kenyan industry at that time, you only hit the ceiling and come back down. Hit the ceiling and come back down. You couldn't go further. You couldn't get the type of sponsorship or endorsement you would like, or you couldn't get the kind of pay you would like that you're well worth of. So I said, okay, let me take time out. The industry will grow, even if it takes 10 years or 50 years. It will grow, and if that was the time limit that I had been given, I will appreciate the fact that I was given that blessing of that particular time. So it's never a regret, but it is a joy to just see that, you know what, the industry finally grew, and there's respect in that aspect towards, the Kenyan industry, and the Kenyan arts industry.
I'm glad you mentioned your daughter, because everyone knows that when you moved from Kenya to the US, it was with a certain gentleman, right?
Yes.
And I just picked up the pulse this morning, and I was reading your story.
Yeah.
So how has it been, and how are you dealing now that you're back to being single?
It's like it's like having 10 books, for example. Life is about, for example, reading a particular book. You read it from cover to cover. You will like that book, or maybe you didn't like it. It will inspire you. It will make you cry. It will teach you something. You will feel, oh my God, I can never read a book again. So that doesn't mean that your life has to end, that I will never read. There are other books to be read. So I'm glad I went through that. It is part of life. It's an experience. I went, I lived, I learned, I smiled, I fell, I ran, I gave birth to the most incredible. You know what I'm saying? It's an incredible journey that I will never forget. And I aspire to experience, to keep experiencing, whether it's with a new person, and if it's not with a new person, life is good.
And you actually got to work with India Ari.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did. On a song called Thy Will Be Done. I did background vocals, and then I did an outro in Swahili. Yeah, and what an experience. And her producer, who is her MD, her musical director, he's called Sanders. He would like to do something with me, and we're hoping there's something in the works.
All the best. You deserve it. You deserve it. I think you're super talented, because today our theme is past, present, and future. So Mercy represents the past and the present, because she's here to stay definitely.
I am not going anywhere.
Yeah, but Alani, a band that we have coming on later on, they represent the future. So Mercy, you're going to be performing this weekend?
Yes, I'm so excited about that. It's the past, present, and future, featuring Atemi, Della, Maranga, and myself, and a new artist that, please forgive me, I forget her name, but I met her yesterday, and she's
phenomenal,
a doll. I love her, and I can't wait to just, you know, but I'm hoping that people will come out and just enjoy just real live music from the heart, from
Where's
the soul.
the venue?
It's at Carnival, and it starts at 8 promptly. If you're late, please forgive us, but we're going to be Miroz Kidogo. We're going to just start on time. I'm getting on at 9, Atemi at 10. It's a show that you do not want to forget.
So
and you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, you had it right there from Mercy Myra. You can rendezvous with her tomorrow at the Carnival from 8 p.m.
Yes.
Now this question, I have to ask you this question. Mercy, from the time you landed on the scene, you were the only female artist who was showing your midrib.
Yes.
And right now there's a fitness craze in Kenya. And I'm looking at you right now, you don't look like you've aged a day. And your stomach is still flat. Please tell us what the secret is.
You know, the thing about it is, my family is like that. I always have this joke that I'm one of the big ones, because my mom was smaller than I am, had 4 children, flat stomach, always looked physically fit.
So she's a mom. You're still a mom right now.
I'm a mom.
You had a kid.
Yes, I did. And I carried full time. 6 days overdue. And I did it all. And thank God, within less than a week, my stomach just went back down.
Wow.
Thank God. And then, of course, it's not eating McDuggy, as my little one calls it, McDonald's. Just eat healthy, take care of yourself, smile. God gives you a new day, the new sun. Smile. There's nothing, if you don't smile, let me tell you, you age. The stress on your shoulders, it will show. You droop. You eat well. Ugali, kula ugali, kula mboga, you know, because we do that back there. Just live right.
Wow.
Be happy.
Mercy, thank you so much for coming to the Morning Express. We are so proud to have you. Kenyan icon right there, ladies and gentlemen, Mercy Myra. So right now we'll be playing for you one of her videos, which is the African Tango.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can check that out. And remember, tomorrow 8 p.m. Carnival, you can rendezvous with Mercy Myra. So let's check out the African Tango.